The other team, probably we should talk about, and then we'll get into the final and talk about everything that's happened there, is ENCE. You know, we did feel that ENCE were another good dark horse pick. You know, Spinks was one of the players at the tournament. We predicted that. We said he would be. We also predicted great things from over the course of the year, although gonna miss IEM Dallas, but like so many others. But I mean, obviously, they lacked that big game experience at a major, and they were really flat against Na'Vi, I thought, especially on their map pick and nuke. You know, they got battered. That was definitely there for the taking because Na'Vi hadn't been playing nuke. I know they were sort of like picking it, like they were happy to play it, but you know, they haven't. That after their streak got broke, they sort of went away from it. And so I feel like ENCE sort of let themselves down a little bit in this game. You know, Hades kind of went a bit missing, but whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, fantastic campaign. And if you'd have said, you know, you're going to go there and make it to the, you know, quarterfinals, semifinals of a major before this, you know, they would have absolutely took it. I think it's a, you know, fantastic story and kind of a fantastic end to the first half of the year for ENCE.
For me, ENCE is a team it's an example of how when you get really, really good, there are things outside of the server that you have to fix mentally. You have to sort of even understand that you are good enough to play in this scenario. That team with all the big names, they're not better than you just because they've got the big names. It's not a scenario where you're not, because you've never been here, you can't win this match. So these are things you have to overcome. That's why you have to be there a few times usually before it ticks over for you and it's your turn to go to the final. Like, I genuinely feel like if they played even maybe Na'Vi, but they played you in the quarterfinals where you get them as soon as you're in the playoffs, that's a game you might win. Once you're in the semis, you're already thinking, now could be the final. In this scenario, you played Na'Vi in that one. Hey, maybe they play a bit off the game like they did against Heroic. You don't want any of these thoughts in your mind. You want to just go in, play your best game, hope it's enough, you get through. If they'd even been on the other side of the bracket, I'd love to see how they would have fared against a FaZe, or if they played an NIP or a Spirit or something. I think there's a lot of worlds where they could have gone even further, but let's be real. Semi-finals of the World Championship is fucking unbelievable for where this team was last major, where they were 6 months ago, and for the organization. Like, I'm going to do some stuff on this soon. This organization, it cannot be luck, guys. You don't do it in two totally different set of circumstances like this within a 3-year span and get right back to the top of the game. Like, the joke is these guys actually are like what Liverpool's done in terms of, like, they haven't needed the same like billions that fucking the Man City's have, but even more so, this is like if the Leicester City squad had just kept winning after they done it the first time. Yeah. It's impossible to be as good as this squad is. So I just hope they can make the most of the next 6-7 months, because to me, the clock's begun on Spinks. Like, there are a lot of teams are now aware this guy is phenomenally good. There's no way you could be paying him enough. And let's be real, he's not from Finland. He has no special connection. He has to stay in ENCE. So my opinion, the window is now opened. You've got a chance to actually win tournaments, to be a top 5 team in the world, to do big things this summer going into the end of the year. And then you have to know, if you're ENCE, eventually someone's going to sign Spinks and he is going to leave and he's going to be on a bigger squad. That there's a timer on that one. But right now, everything points up to me. It can only get better from here, I think.
Yeah, well, just to add to that, HLTV did their extra valuable player piece that they do at the end of the majors, and they had him overall at 3rd, and that was after Bit and Simple. So, arguably the most valuable player outside of Na'Vi based on their statistical analysis. I'll read you a little bit of this. They said Spinks has been the breakout star of 2022, which that's probably an understatement. He said that he has a higher multi-frag frequency than Simple, where it's 23.7%. He's now getting a 1.10 opening kill rating as well. He had a 1.68 rating when they beat FaZe at the very start of the Legend stage. He completely took over that game of the team that eventually went on to lift the trophy. Had a 1.51 rating against Outsiders, a 1.45 rating against Heroic, and a 1.47 rating in the Copenhagen Flames game, which was his stage debut. So, what you've got there is you've got a player who actually turns up in the big games. Despite having no experience, he's completely unfazed, completely fearless. Stage doesn't appear to get to him either. So, yeah, super promising player. And like you say, you know, you have to wonder, you know, if ENCE haven't, because I know Natu was out there, by the way, get well soon, brother. He caught the fucking COVID. But he's probably pulled him to one side and said, listen, we could renegotiate your contract. 5 years, a little bit more money, maybe, massive buyout, because you want to get that in, because motherfuckers are going to come for this guy.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but yeah, I'm super happy for ENCE as well. All it took was getting rid of Arlo. Because that was a dark time when you were anxious for that. So yeah, happy they turned a corner in the end.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.